what does Shipsy do?
Focused on the logistics vertical.
मतलब first check कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ?
100 LinkedIn मैसेज भेजो, 5 लोग का रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, 2 लोग मिलेंगे, 1 क्लोज होगा.
Perfect. That's the growth mantra.
Interesting.
You are right. 100 में से 5 ही करेंगे, 5 में से 1 ही क्लोज होगा. मुझको लगे. What's the family background?
I come from a Gujarati family. मतलब धंधा खून में चलता है.
We have Soham Chokshi, जो कि एक बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड बन गए हैं स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड के साथ साथ, एंड ही इज बिल्डिंग अ वेरी अमेजिंग कंपनी. ही इज हियर इन द स्टूडियो, एंड थैंक यू सो मच Soham
to join us. Thanks for having me, Akash.
Yeah, and you know, your projects that you're building, your tech that you're building, the disruption that you're building in logistics is amazing. We'd love to hear your journey, and matlab, maybe first of all, what does Shipsy do? So he's the founder and CEO of Shipsy. थोड़ा Shipsy के बारे में बताओ, क्या मतलब धंधा है?
Absolutely. No, firstly, thanks for having me over here, Akash, and I think a great philosophy behind the show as well. There's a lot of times as founders you think that if only I had known this before. Right?
Yes.
And then that's what it is. So we've been in this journey for about 6 or 7 years now.
Right.
There are so many things that we know now that if we had known when we started, things would have been very different, right? Which is why you see a lot of second-time founders now coming in, right? Learning. So firstly, it's a great mission. In terms of Shipsy and what we do, right? So essentially, we are a SaaS company, software as a service, focused on the logistics vertical, right? So logistics, obviously, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, right?
Yes.
Goods have been moving around forever,
Right.
But what has changed, right? What has changed and why now? Is the end customer, like you and I, our expectations have completely changed. I mean, think about the way we used to shop 10 years ago, or even 6 or 7 years ago. Something offline tha. And think about how you do it now. The speed with which you want things, the flexibility with which you want things, the selection that you want, the rate at which your choices change.
Yes.
Right? Everything has completely transformed, right? And what this is doing is pushing everyone in the ecosystem, right? Whether you're a logistics service provider, whether you're a retailer, or whether you're a consumer goods company or the manufacturer that is part of this entire supply chain.
Right.
Everyone is being pushed to transform because of this end customer, right? And the thing that is common across everyone is technology.
Yes.
Right? The thing that will make this change is technology, right?
Correct.
To enable everyone in the ecosystem to do that. That's what we do. We provide technology solutions to logistics companies, to retailers, to manufacturers, to help them reduce costs.
Okay.
Deliver in a more flexible manner, giving a better customer experience.
Sure.
And automate all of the processes. So that's kind of what we do largely. We have a suite of solutions that's there. We now have 200 plus customers across Middle East, India, Southeast Asia. 250 odd plus member team. We've raised about $35 million till date. And yeah, it's a fantastic time. Honestly, I think you share the same optimism as we do, being in the same similar industry. Logistics is booming. And if there's one sector where we know maybe people may or may not move, right, but goods will keep moving.
ये बात बिल्कुल सही है. And COVID also taught us.
Yeah, that exactly.
Things will keep moving.
Things will keep moving.
And मैंने एक जगह कहीं पढ़ा था that the invention of wheel actually led to the prosperity of humanity.
Absolutely.
Because people started moving, business started happening. आप एक जगह से दूसरी जगह कैसे जाओगे?
Exactly.
Right? And that is how, I mean, this medium is because of those wheels. Right?
Absolutely.
And logistics is driving that. So great thought. And so basically you are a SaaS provider to anyone who wants their goods to move from point A to point B. They don't have any technology. They can talk to Shipsy. And you will kind of orchestrate everything for them. It's a plug and play solution.
Absolutely.
आप tech ले लो. Right?
Exactly.
और business चालू हो जाए.
Absolutely, right?
Super.
So essentially the idea really is to be that kind of operating system, if you may. Right, for anyone to ship anything anywhere. We want it to be powered by Shipsy.
Yes.
We would definitely not be the ones actually transporting it.
You're the backend layer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that's the vision.
Wow. So 200 customers across multiple countries, as you said.
Yeah.
But ये business आज तो अच्छा चल रहा है.
Yeah.
Right? Initiate कैसे हुआ था? How were the seeds sown and what were the biggest 2-3 challenges that you would have faced in our journey?
Oh, lots. Yeah.
I would love to hear a couple of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we started back in late 2015 actually. At the time we were working in banks. So myself, Dhruv, Harsh. So we were.
How many co-founders?
So me and Dhruv, we started off, and then we have Himanshu who leads technology and Harsh who leads strategy, part of the founding team as well.
Nice.
So we worked at a bank, right? And we use this platform called Bloomberg over there, right?
Correct.
It is one single platform that actually connects everyone in the financial ecosystem, right?
Right.
So whether you're the bank, whether you're a trader, whether you're the research company, all our chats, all our analytics, all our trades, execution, everything on one single platform, right? And the realization was that at the time the cost for one license for me was more than my salary, right? So that got me thinking. I was like, "Ye to kuch special hona padega. This is something special." And there were other challenger solutions in the market, like Reuters and all of them, and they were priced at less than half or 1/3.
Of Bloomberg.
But they could not displace it.
Wow.
Because of the adoption and ecosystem adoption, right? So that kind of got us thinking that, other industries where there is an ecosystem, right? There needs to be a Bloomberg type platform for that.
Right.
So in fact, before Shipsy, I had another startup.
क्या बात है?
Yeah, that was in the edtech space.
EdTech? 2015 से पहले तुमने EdTech?
Yeah, so that was at the side. तभी EdTech cool नहीं था. So अभी वापस cool नहीं है, but ठीक है. So
those are types of startups.
Those are ups and downs. Things will come, things will go. It will become exciting again. So that was a platform again that connected students, teachers, parents, school administration, everyone on one single platform, right?
Tech platform.
Tech platform, right? But at the time, the thought process was that that was on the side, right? While I was working at Deutsche, right? So the idea was to do something properly. You need to do it full time. Side पे होता नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं होता है, right? You cannot say कि I'll do a startup on the side. मैं ये भी करूँगा, वो भी करूँगा. You cannot.
But you were running it as a side gig.
Yeah. It was.
For how long?
For about 6 months.
क्या बात है?
Yeah. And then so actually the other person that I had started with at that time, he didn't want to leave. The job was a pretty well-paying job, right? At a bank, right? So I said, "Okay, let's see what happens." And then e-commerce was on the rise at the time. Yeah. And as end customers, we saw the demands. Of end customer, right? They were through the roof, right?
Oh, yes.
I mean, people are talking about going to Mars and all of that stuff, and dusre side to on ground is like everything is manual.
Correct.
Now imagine if the financial industry, everything was on calls, WhatsApp, emails. How inefficient it would be, right? So we said that there has to be a Bloomberg type platform for supply chain and logistics, right? So that was the starting. So moved to Gurgaon from Bombay, right? Because of course NCR is A, good talent for technology, and B, it's kind of a hub for logistics, right? And operations, as you know.
Right.
So moved here, and yes, so in fact, when we started off, we were actually not a pure SaaS company. We were an aggregator. Right. So we also told people that in addition to the technology, we'll also do an instant pick and drop, and we'll aggregate for different carriers.
पूरा last mile delivery भी कर रहे थे.
Last mile delivery and end-to-end aggregation also, right?
Okay.
But we very soon realized that these are two very different problems. The operations problem and the tech problem are two very different problems, right? So we said that, look, let's take a step back. Let's just solely focus on the technology, because there's an ocean of opportunities out there, right? So what we did essentially is the tech that we built for ourselves.
Right.
We said, why not give it to other logistics service providers, right? Because
and they were asking for it? No.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were not really asking for it, but we were aggregating them, and we knew that there was a need. Right? Because the performance was not very good, right? So on the one hand, we had customers who had massive expectations, right? And these carriers, they could not really fulfill them. I mean, they were getting the job done to some extent, but there was a huge need for change, right? So essentially, just we signed up one customer to start with. We kind of built out the platform. I mean, so that's the thing with SaaS, right? You need an anchor customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, to start with, right?
So मिल गया आपको anchor.
So one of the companies that we were aggregating, right? So their promoter was pretty excited.
Do you want to name them?
So DTDC Express.
DTDC.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice. That's a big name.
That's a big name, right? So essentially over there, Abhishek, who is the executive director over there, he was kind of coming in. He was taking over the reins from his father, the CMD, who was there, right? And he was like, okay, we need technology, we need to change, right? We need to transform. And that's where it's been they're still one of our largest customers. Still growing very strongly. But that was a realization that we need an anchor customer, right? To actually, build out something. So that's kind of where we started, and since then we've been kind of growing module by module, last mile, then first mile, then mid mile, then cross border. So it's been an interesting.
So and you जो आपने last mile delivery also which you started.
Yeah.
When did you shut it कि भाई नहीं हमें सिर्फ tech करना है, because ये बहुत बड़ा shift है.
It is.
The journey of a startup when you're doing end to end, full stack, and then you decide नहीं ops हम नहीं करेंगे.
Yeah.
Do only tech. It's a big shift.
It's a big shift.
तो वो कैसे हुआ?
Yeah, so that was within the first 4 months, to be honest.
जल्दी होना सही रहता है.
जल्दी होना सही रहता है. So because we had to take that call.
Yes.
I mean, at one point we had about 80 bikers also with us.
Wow. क्या बात.
So yeah. We were processing about 800 shipments a day, right? Like actually, from a logistics standpoint, right? But we said that no, we had to take that call, right? Hard call. कि नहीं, let us only focus on one thing. And see, honestly, like all across this entire journey, one thing has remained with us, right? Is focus is बहुत ही जरूरी है. आप जो भी करो ना, you can do fewer things.
Very important learning. Yes.
But you should be damn good at them.
Yeah. That's true.
Right. कम चीज करो पर एकदम ही करो कि यार मतलब you are like 60% market share.
No, that's a very big lesson. In fact, for a lot of people who are listening, कि startup की जर्नी में हमें initially लगता है हम सब कुछ कर लेंगे. But जब समझ आता है कि धंधा कैसे बनता है तो हम कहते हैं नहीं सिर्फ एक ही चीज से कर लेंगे. बहुत बढ़िया.
Absolutely.
That's a great learning. Yeah.
No, absolutely, because and the thing is in industries like ours, like logistics, right?
Yeah.
You'll see opportunities everywhere.
Yes.
So it's never about is there an opportunity or not. The answer to that will be yes. There is an opportunity.
There is.
Correct. Opportunity हर जगह पे.
Right.
Right. But the point is that how many battles do you want to fight?
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
And can you actually take up a few things and be so good at it that you create a flywheel?
Yeah.
Right. You want to be in a place where your customers then reach out to you.
Right.
You are known for something.
Correct.
Right.
Which is also a word which we use quite a lot, product market fit. कि भाई वो अचीव हो गया. तो वो कब लगा आपको आपकी जर्नी में कि मुझे अब लग रहा है, और कितने साल बाद you felt कि I have achieved PMF?
So it's a good point, and coming to one of our learnings and so to say mistakes, right, is that we waited far too long. To actually start scaling up, right?
Okay.
So see, sometimes as founders, right, क्या होता है, we feel कि यार नहीं थोड़ा और बना लेते हैं. Only then customers will like this. Because when you start, building is almost always easier than selling.
Yeah.
Right, because selling you have to face the real world, right? And you have to face rejection, you have to face like things. So sometimes it's just like no, let's keep building, right? And honestly, we could have gone with just the last mile product as well.
Correct.
Why not?
You could.
Right. You could have, but then we waited. नहीं, first mile भी करते हैं, mid mile भी करते हैं, and I think we delayed our go to market by about 12 to 15 months.
That's a long time.
That's a long time, right? Because we said that no, let's build more. Only then we'll have a comprehensive solution.
Yes.
But in fact, we could have gone with a small module. We could have gone to market. We could have actually scaled up, right? So see, because PMF itself is a journey, right? It's not like okay, overnight, okay, there's this PMF, right?
Yeah.
But when you see that okay, there is some motion that is repeatable, because it's very important to go out.
Absolutely.
आपने कुछ बनाया, go out.
बिल्कुल.
Right.
बिल्कुल.
And if you see a repeatable motion, there are increasingly more people that are saying that yes, and for you to deliver that,
yeah,
right, the effort to deliver that is constantly reducing.
Right.
those are early
That's
signs
when
of
you feel.
PMF.
That's when you
right? But it's important to go out.
Correct, no doubt. वो उसके बिना पता नहीं
Right, उसके बिना पता ही नहीं चलेगा.
आप बनाए जा रहे हो उसको
Exactly, right? So, you know, so it's selling does not come naturally to a lot of people, right? You know, as and of course as engineers and as technology guys, right? Building is core to us, right? Like because that's what we did, right? Like even in banks, we were asked to build.
Yes.
Right.
And you are a tech person.
Yeah.
Yeah, वो भी थोड़ा बताओ, मतलब who is Soham? Where does he come from?
Yeah.
क्या schooling education रही है और फिर ये आपने जैसे Bloomberg का बताया, तो उससे पहले क्या किया? I would love to know.
So I've been born and brought up in Mumbai.
अच्छा.
Did schooling over there. Went to IIT Madras. Did my BTech in mechanical engineering.
Right.
Fantastic journey. I mean, fun. Lots of fun. And then post that, I wanted to kind of do banking or. Yeah. So
was that the hot theme in the campus?
It was as well. Yeah, that was. So of course, you know. So when anyone goes into campus, right? You have your own thesis, right? When you go out after 4 years, the primary thing that all these kind of institutes do is give you a platform where you can start your career, right? And then you kind of see that what is a good place to start, right? And of course, unfortunately at the time, core engineering jobs, etc., weren't as lucrative, right? I mean, that's the harsh reality, right?
True.
So, and also did have interest in that, but see, you realize that MNCs, right? They have a ceiling. You cannot grow as fast as you want to grow,
right?
And that's what happened.
You realize
right?
that.
एक साल में काम खत्म हो गया था.
एक साल में समझ लिया.
एक साल में, so at the
boring, बहुत boring.
After that, मतलब जितना भी काम था उतना खत्म हो गया था, right? And then you hit a ceiling, right?
Yes.
Because then you cannot grow as fast as you'd want to, right? So then kind of realize कि yes, I need to do something of my own as well, where the ceiling is not there, right? And in fact, even today, even at Shipsy, and I'm sure at other startups as well, right? We strive to do that, right? Where people, right? It's extremely meritocratic, right? It's purely merit based, right? If you're doing well, age is no criteria,
correct,
right? Years of experience is no criteria.
Right.
But if you're performing, if you're doing well, you should keep growing.
Yeah. So you felt that there's a ceiling.
Exactly.
And again, what you're saying is you felt that startup would be an uncapped.
Exactly.
No ceiling experience.
Yeah.
So I would go.
We are our own. I mean, you are your own.
You are your own
factor.
ceiling.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
आप जब रुक जाओगे तो बंद हो जाएगा, नहीं तो चलता रहेगा. Great. But ये स्टार्टअप का मतलब एक तो जॉब से थोड़ा बहुत लगा. बचपन में भी कुछ ऐसी थी फीलिंग. Who guided you? What's the family background? Has someone in family been doing business? किसने वो किया?
Parents are doctors. I come from a Gujarati family.
Your parents are also doctors. My dad is also doctor. Great to know that.
So I come from a Gujarati family.
Oh, nice. तो मतलब business का क्या तो
खून में चलता है थोड़ा.
Yeah.
But so parents are doctors. They have their own setup. They run that. They've been running that for about 30 plus years now.
Right.
My sister's also a dentist, in fact. So she also has her own setup in Bombay. So yeah, we were
not a doctor.
Just confused, I think. Engineering, banking, and then whatever this is. But no, it's so that's the kind of background, right? And I mean, ऐसा कुछ था नहीं, कि ऐसा सपना था growing up. No, it was actually even IIT के बारे में पता नहीं था, right? So 10th में किसी ने बोला कि यार हाँ ऐसा चीज होता है, so ठीक है try करते हैं, right? So I was also more this thing, but
academically you were.
Yeah, it was good. Academically, it was good. School was good. Even within campus, I mean, even within campus, it was कि यार मुझे पता था कि यार there is one number you leave the campus with. Whatever anyone else may say, there is one number you leave it with, which is your grade. That sticks with you for life, right? So, and then see if you want, and for any of us, right? If we want to do well, we'll do well.
Correct.
Right? Because it's just about giving it the effort, right? So I thought, why not? Right? कर लो. Right.
तो अच्छे नंबर लाने का तो था कि ये तो लाऊंगा.
वो फिल्टर था कि अच्छे नंबर तो लाने and बाकी और भी चीजें करो. But yeah, अच्छे नंबर लाना तो फिल्टर तो था ये. Right? Because see campus में भी क्या होता है ना, a lot of seniors they say different things, right? कि नहीं grades are not important, this is not important, but it is. Right? That's the fact of the matter, right? It is important, and why not, right? Like give it your best.
Why not? You're there in that campus for a few years.
Yeah, and do all things.
मतलब कुछ ना कुछ तो अलग करो. अब आपने numbers कर लिए या फिर आप कुछ sports में कुछ अलग कर दो या extra curriculum में कुछ अलग कर दो. But
there's so much opportunity for everything. So I played tennis also. I was a state level tennis player.
Wow, that's great.
So bachpan mein, then at campus I played competitively within campus, etc. So it was good. Great studies and grades and all of that, and then sports and also the campus festivals and all of that. So it was a good journey.
Nice.
So tab se actually, now that I think about it, the thing to always do more was there, right? And then when we got into like MNCs and all, तो थोड़ा ceiling आ गया कि यार want to do more but can't.
Right. And that's when you straight away started कि नहीं अपना business.
So start to edtech venture था, because on the side
का trial किया,
वो trial था,
उससे मजा आया, किक आया, and then you said start करना.
Oh, I mean, interestingly, was able to even exit that.
Oh wow, you were able to sell it? क्या बात है, 6 महीने का side project
on Delhi Metro.
के बारे में तो बहुत interesting लग रहा है.
Yeah, no, so that was another story in itself. But so back in the day, we were operations, right? So with operations things come operational challenges, right? So what happened is that at the time one of our customers, right, they labeled 2 packages incorrectly, right? कि दिल्ली के पैकेज पे नोएडा का लेबल लगा लिया, नोएडा के पैकेज पे दिल्ली का लेबल लगा लिया, राइट? सो अभी क्या करें, हमेशा अपनी गलती होती है, राइट? सो ऐसे ठीक है, लेट्स गो. सो आई सेड कि यार मैं दिल्ली से नोएडा लेके जाऊंगा, नोएडा से दिल्ली. संडे था, एनीवेज आई वाज लाइक ठीक है कर लेते हैं, राइट? सो went in the metro, and this is like late 2015, right? Went in the metro, so I sat down, right? And there was one kid also who was there, seemed like he wanted a place to sit. I was like, okay, please sit, right? Like, anyways, I'm having a bad day. It's fine, right? Shipment delivers. So and then his father was actually like, apparently had come from London. He was showing he ran a private equity fund and things like that, and he got I was wearing the Shipsy t-shirt, right? So we got to talking in the metro, and he was fascinated by the concept, and by the end of the metro, right, he was like, and then he also I told about the edtech venture. He said that I know somebody who would want to buy it, right? So then that got, and he also later on invested as an angel investor after 2 or 3 months.
Oh, amazing! So he bought.
Good things happen anywhere.
Actually, man, this is serendipity, right? Good things can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Amazing. तो अच्छा, co-founders कैसे मिले? मतलब who are your co-founders?
So Dhruv and I were together at Deutsche. Harsh was also at Deutsche.
Achha, not in your campus, but
not in campus, in Deutsche. Sure. And Himanshu, who leads tech, he was with Dhruv at IIT Delhi.
Sure.
And he was at Samsung before that. So that's kind of how we all got together.
Right. And who does what?
So I look after all of the things around growth, revenue, fundraising, etc. And a bit of inputs into the product for growth.
Sure.
Dhruv looks after everything around executing on the product roadmap.
Right.
Ensuring that our customers are successful, everyone that signs up.
He's the sales. He's
So sales essentially is I kind of look at sales.
Oh, you
I love
sales also.
Yeah, I did that for a long time. Yeah. Now of course we have teams and all, but sales is still very close to me, right? So Dhruv looks after product basically. Okay. Himanshu looks after technology, and Harsh looks after growth strategy.
Achha.
So he's actually moved to Dubai now, leading the Middle East expansion, things like that. So.
Wonderful. So now, as the journey scaled, now that you said that you've raised $35 million, which is not a small amount, right? This is still your Series A?
Series B.
Series B, perfect. Yeah, that's the right amount. Now, the first check कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ?
Yeah.
And what was your pitch to your first set of investors?
Yeah.
And then who all came into the journey?
Yeah.
Maybe, and what was the nuance that was different in every fundraise? If you can help us understand.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So, our first round was an angel round. Reached out to a bunch of angels, met them, pitched.
So it was all connections or all cold email?
100 LinkedIn मैसेज भेजो, 5 लोग का रिस्पॉन्स आएगा, 2 लोग मिलेंगे, 1 क्लोज होगा.
Perfect. That's the growth mantra.
That's what it is.
A lot of people should be learning this.
That's a reality. Yeah.
That's true.
Just because somebody does not respond, it doesn't mean that it's not interesting.
You are right. 100 में से 5 ही करेंगे, 5 में से 1 ही क्लोज होगा. वो लगे रहो.
Simple. अपना काम है कि भेजते रहो, right? So that was it. So I reached out to a lot of people, right? And then few people responded, met up, and then closed that, and then one people introduced to another, etc., right? So built that, angel round.
Nice.
So that was early on.
Okay.
And then as we scaled, we actually then kind of built with our anchor customer, like I said, for quite some time.
Sure.
And then we had our pre-series A, which was InfoEdge, that came in.
Wow.
So Sanjeev sir, he's been very kind, and so he actually visited our office a couple of times. We were not looking to raise because we were profitable, right? All along, every single year. Even last year. We've been profitable. And this year, of course, we're investing in growth, etc. But we've been profitable. So you're not really looking for funds, but Sanjeev sir came and his vision was fantastic, right? Let's do something together, right?
Wow.
So we took a pre-series A kind of check from them,
InfoEdge.
and then InfoEdge, and then in the next round, Surge came in, Sequoia Surge, so they came in, and then Series B was A91 and Z3 also came in. Every time, all our existing investors, they kept doing pro rata as well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's some great names on the cap table, I must say, right? So, and how was the Series B story or conviction different than your first, maybe pre-Series A or the angel round,
of course,
when you got InfoEdge and the angels? आसान था, tough था, कैसा हो जाता है?
I mean, absolutely it changes, right? Like, because see, earlier on it's on the team, right? It's just on the team and it's on the people, right? But one of the things that we realized, and as we started our Series B journey, right, a lot of it was inbound. But having said that, while the team was good, we were executing all of that. See, there is a hygiene that has to be maintained in terms of numbers. All of the things that seem operational but are absolutely vital to running. And those are some of the things that we learned between our Series A and Series B, that to scale all our numbers. What's our GM? What are the contributing things towards GM? What is our net margin? What our cost looks like? Revenue kahan se aa raha hai? Kitna repeat revenue? Kitna ye hai? All the different metrics. We realized that to scale, this is something that is absolutely needed, right? So between a Series A and Series B, we really got all of this in order.
Perfect. That's amazing.
Right? Ki all our numbers, ekdam, because otherwise, how do you make decisions, right? Ye karna hai, nahi karna, it cannot always be a gut feeling, right? It has to be number driven. So, so I think that was the largest learning that we had, and also the focus part, right? Like, to really minimize from a product perspective, go-to-market perspective, what is the TAM? See, काफी बारी TAM and all, it seems like it's just for, actually not. It's not just for investors, right? Even for you to focus, these are the exact industries, sub-industries I'm looking at. These are, let's say, the accounts that will contribute so much. Like, what is the path to, let's say, $20-25 million run rate?
Yes.
Should be absolutely clear.
Yes.
वो एकदम clear होना चाहिए. 100 million वाला can still be a pie in the sky. ये वो हो जाएगा. But at least a 20 million का run rate, and this is for a SaaS company, right? Should be very clear. Right? This is exactly how it will come. These are the geographies, these are the industries, these are sub-industries, these are the products from which it will come.
Perfect. No, I think what you're saying is कि, and this goes same with me. मतलब मुझे unit economics की कोई खबर ही नहीं है. Right? And people started asking unit economics, तो थोड़ा बहुत समझा, pitches देखी. But the journey from early stage to a mature journey is that you know your numbers very well.
Absolutely.
You know what is your MIS. You start maintaining those numbers.
You start maintaining an MIS.
Day one पे हम कुछ करते ही नहीं थे. हम बस हवा में एक story सुनाते थे.
Because you're always very passionate and aggressive. कि चलो, let's grow, let's get more customers. All of this is like operational, but it's extremely vital.
Correct. अब एक क्वेश्चन मुझे पूछना है that you are from IIT Madras, right? Does IIT tag really help in, and you've written to so many investors, मतलब तो ये मतलब, and this is a conception which a lot of people have कि भाई अगर IITian है तो उसको बड़ी आसानी से फंडिंग मिल जाती है, बाकियों को नहीं मिलती. Now you're an IITian. I would love to know, and you connect with other founders also. What do you think about it? What's the feeling?
Not really. I mean, see, of course, maybe at an early stage, at an angel round, etc., it may help because again, they're betting on people, right? And I mean, for lack of any other things, maybe that could be a filter. But honestly, everything has changed now.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Especially now.
Correct.
See, if you have the numbers, if you're able to demonstrate a path to growth, everything is possible. There's nothing, and in fact, irrespective of where you're from, if this is not clear, nothing's going to happen.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. So investors are also not just looking for someone with a tag, but someone who knows how he's going to be executing.
For sure.
And what he's done in life. So it might not be necessary कि भाई आपके पास IIT टैग है, but अगर आपने जो past है उसमें कुछ उखाड़ा है, कुछ अलग किया है, कुछ बढ़िया किया है, that can also be that.
And even at the company, right? See, because constrained environment तो हर जगह पे होता है, but what were we able to achieve in the constrained environment, right? Were we, because see, it's easy to just say कि I need funding to grow. No, you can grow without that also. Get a customer.
Correct. Why not?
Right?
Get
revenue. That is a source of funding, right? Why not do that? And so I think that path is there. It's always there, right? And I think it's just like you need to take it.
Absolutely. Now I'm sure, but his journey mein, it would not have been a hunky-dory ride.
Not at all.
There have been a lot of no's. There have been areas where you would have felt down कि नहीं यार नहीं चल पा रहा, कुछ ना कुछ problem आ रही है. How have you emerged out of those problem statements or those down paths or those no's?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, look, as founders, there's one thing I think that even with the team, right? Irrespective of anything that's happening internally, we may feel that this is not working, but with our teams, we have to always be energetic. We have to be positive, and we need to exhibit the optimism, right? And the fact that yes, because see, then people will follow that.
Yeah.
At the same time, whatever challenges are there internally between the founding teams, they have to be addressed. See, a lot of times what happens is there are awkward discussions, right? That कि नहीं ये किसका responsibility है, ये किसका responsibility है. That you may feel कि यार it's an awkward discussion, but I think and then that was the other thing, right? It's almost like a marriage, right? Like between, let's say, Dhruv and me, it's almost like a marriage, right? Here, it's that kind of relation that you need to know, right? कि हाँ ये है, and it's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Right? See, and in a world where everyone is capable of doing everything.
True.
Again, that focus for each person. Look, this is the thing, and then there's enough and more. Look, this is your area, clearly defined. You take the calls.
Very nice.
Right. So I think establishing that, I mean, again, if you would have done that earlier, things would have been better.
Correct.
Right. But you realize that over time. Right. कि हाँ चलो ठीक है ये है. And of course, right, there's just going fast to market.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think that's absolutely key, right? Because there's no reality other than customers telling you, what is.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I think one of the things rather, that I have understood from you that you've still been a lot more patient.
Yeah.
As a founder, right?
Yeah.
You said that I have spent 12 to 15 months to build the product
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I've gone out, right? I am very impatient, right? jaldi
Yeah.
jaldi karo. So that's a trait possibly that also helps, right?
Absolutely. I think, look, it works both ways, right? I think, see, I would say you need to always have that impatience कि हाँ need to do something more.
Correct.
But at the same time, जितना भी data driven हम बना सकते कि नहीं, जैसे PMF, it should not just be a feeling.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, you should agree on some sort of a numbers. कि अच्छा ठीक है, we'll go to so many customers, the onboarding time of it so much, this and that. Then we start investing in scaling up, right?
Correct.
So I think being impatient is definitely a virtue. I would say. At the same time, we should not do rash things.
Yeah.
Right?
Manage it well.
It has to be a balance, right? But that always ki nahi, what more, what else? And I think it's just about being paranoid.
Yeah.
Last 3 months has changed the game.
Right.
If you're a tech company and with this, all of these things around AI coming in, it's an existential threat for everyone.
Absolutely.
I mean, in fact, I was just seeing a tweet from Sridhar Vembu, right? Zoho's CEO. He said, even for companies like Zoho,
Achha.
right, we should not take it for granted.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right, because technology is getting so democratized, people can start building tools.
Yeah, I mean, you write to the AI, software चाहिए आ जाएगा आपके पास.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's about being paranoid.
Right. I mean, Google is being paranoid as of now.
They should be. Right.
Correct. So that is great learning so far. I think we'd now love to know that how do you manage your personal wealth? थोड़ा ये भी लोगों को समझाना है क्योंकि मतलब कैसे आप बचपन से how has been your relationship with money and how has it grown?
Interesting. No, absolutely. I mean, thankfully, my father really helped with this. He's made a lot of I would say good decisions when it comes to investing, etc. His personal wealth as well, right? And he always helped me, to be honest, right? So
Gujarati ho to
so honestly, वो थोड़ा I got a lot of help, and even till date, right? I get a lot of help from my father actually, right? He helps out with all of these things. I think, see, the thing with managing this thing, right? Again, it's about focus, right? See, I see a lot of people saying, I'll do like a side gig on day trading and all of that stuff, right? Now, the thing that happens is here, and I learned this at Deutsche also, right? If you're doing that, you better do that full time.
Correct.
Doing that on the side is nothing but a series of heartburn after heartburn. Right? It's just that, right? True. So there are a lot of asset classes where it's about active versus passive, right? Sure. So you can take some bets in say some companies where you really believe. You know, back in the day, ये था कि whichever company we started working with, I would be like, चलो इसमें invest करते हैं.
अब तो improve होगी.
क्या large retailer के साथ चलो invest करते हैं तो. अब तो tech invest करते हैं. So that was the thought process, but so you can take some sectoral bets. Sure. Right, you can take some company bets, but I think it's best to keep it passive, right? And see, and this is a known thing, right? In the grand scheme of things, beating the index, 99% people won't.
Correct. नहीं हो पाएगा.
अब जितना भी कर दो, you will not be able to beat that, right? So choose the lowest expense fund, right? Like index funds or whatever, where the expense ratio is the lowest. Right, where you're not basically giving money to people to manage your wealth. Right. Because anyways the index is going to beat everyone.
Correct.
Right. So invest in something that has the lowest expense ratio and then forget about it. Have like a 20-year horizon. And I think it should also be clear that you're good even without that money.
That's true.
Right?
You're ready to lose.
You're ready to lose, right? Yeah. So and then because then then you can focus on work, right? Otherwise it keeps bothering you on the side. I need to flip this somewhere else. I need to do this. So it should be a balance. Again, it's all about balance. You cannot. There's no extremes. But I think I would say that especially if you're a founder, passive versus active, right? I would choose passive and low expense funds where you could invest.
Okay. So mostly mutual funds and funds.
Exactly.
Is what you.
Yeah. And again, the ones with the lowest expense ratio, right? These are the ones that have that where the fund managers don't take a lot of the percentage to manage the fund.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's a great learning again. You know, ये expense ratio वाला फंडा मुझे नहीं पता था. तो मेरे लिए
check in the funds. Yeah, because they have to state it. What is the expense ratio?
Yeah. It is a term that I know, but I've never seen it. But that's a good outlook to look at, right? Do you also invest in startups?
I do, in fact. Yeah. Again,
sectoral. Talk about that a little bit.
SaaS. Yeah. Again, so the larger objective over there is to say that again this whole concept of if only I knew earlier, right? Yeah. So again, partnering with companies that are in the SaaS space or in the B2B space, right? Because that's the kind of area where I think I could potentially add value.
Right.
So that's what it is. Small check size, but work closely with the founder, share learning, share mistakes.
Wow.
Right.
What do you look at? What do you look at before investing? Apart from the sectoral bets that you talked about, which is B2B.
I think A is the market big. TAM. That is a big thing.
Yeah.
It should be big enough. If you do anything, it can grow really big.
Sure.
See, unfortunately, if you're part of a market that has a small TAM, an addressable TAM, right?
Obviously.
Then it's very difficult, right, to scale up, right? Because you would need that breadth.
Yes, obviously.
To scale, right? So I think that's the first thing, that the TAM should be large enough. Right? It's huge.
Sure.
Right? And I think then because it's early stage, it's the people, right? The kind of drive they have, what they've been able to achieve without funds also, right, in a constrained environment, what they've been able to do. And just the kind of focus on technology and being future ready.
Correct. No, that's great. And you kind of help all the founders together, sit down.
Yeah, so we have like calls once a month or once a fortnight or something like that, or on need basis, right? कि चाहिए customer के साथ ये चल रहा है, कैसे approach करना चाहिए, all our mistakes, right? Like
wonderful.
Standardized.
Fast track हो जाता है वो part.
Hygiene of CRM, right? All of these things, right? Which we think are like taken for granted, but are super critical.
Yeah. So, an interesting question now, which I like to ask everyone. What would you like to tell the younger Soham कि ये कुछ better करता अगर है तो शायद अच्छा होता. Anything like that?
Not really. I mean, there's no regrets on anything. I think just that bias for action, have that earlier. I think just that, right?
A little earlier would have.
A little earlier, yeah. I think that's kind of about it. But I mean, it's good, yeah. Really thankful for everyone that supported us, all our customers, investors, all our people. Right. So I think a lot of gratitude. So I mean, nothing per se apart from maybe just a little more bias for action and just like going out much faster.
Now, since you are from the logistics domain and especially on the tech side, I think thoda bahut on what is the future of logistics that you see now. With obviously we talked a little bit about AI. What are the new trends that people should watch out for?
Sure.
You know, if you'd like to share it, I'm sure a lot of.
I think so. See, we are at the intersection of SaaS and logistics, right? And when both these industries have their own unique trends that's kind of going on, right? So we have vertical SaaS in that sense. We're not a horizontal SaaS like a CRM, for example, right? So we're at the intersection of both of these industries, right? So, and both have their own topical things going on, right? So I think the key thing right now is, I mean, definitely if you're in the technology space, AI is big. It's the largest step change that has come from like, GUI coming in. Right?
That's true.
It's a massive step change, right? And it's going to change so many things. I mean, the ability to do compute at this pace has never been possible.
That's
and the rate at which you can build new things, right, is amazing, right? So I think that is one big thing that's going on. Now, specific to logistics, I think there's a lot of trends. I think one of the things that we spoke about is faster commerce, right? I mean, the way we think about in logistics is, while a lot of things will change, we tend to focus on things that will not change. Because in logistics, it's been going on forever, right?
Correct.
So actually, better off focusing on things that will not change.
Yes.
So there are three things that will never change, right? One is people will always want things at a lower cost.
Yes.
People will always want things faster. And people will always want more selection.
Right.
These are things will never change.
Correct.
Right. I will always want more items that I can choose from while ordering.
That's true.
I will want it faster and cheaper. Right.
Correct.
So where we come in is essentially on the cheaper and faster. Right. That's where we come in. Selection not as much. That would be more on warehousing and inventory management and those players.
Right.
We don't really help with that.
Correct.
But essentially these two themes is something that we help with, right? So we tend to focus on things that would not change when it comes to logistics.
Got it. Sure. I think final two questions before we let you go. One is, what advice do you want to give to young founders who are wanting to start up, who are maybe teens ke to baad ho gaye, matlab 20s? What do you want to tell them in the current competitive environment, startup, Shark Tank India world of ours?
No, absolutely. I mean, see, there's a lot of things that are said, not said about the whole startup thing. But I think one thing is that there has been no better time to start up than now. I mean, see, even back in the day when we started, there was a lot of uncertainty, and you get to, and thankfully for us, at least personally for me, parents were super supportive, right? But that's not something a luxury that everyone has. But you spoke about Shark Tank. The one thing that Shark Tank has done it's made it easier to convince parents.
No doubt about it.
I mean, even in hiring, right? It's become easier to get talent.
Even in marriages now, it's easier to get a founder.
Exactly, right? So that's one good thing that has happened. But I think there's no better time than now. To start,
because everyone is knowing this, but it's not more
opportunity, and see, the world is looking at India, building from India for the world. Huge, right? I think that's one. Second is that you can do a lot more with a lot less. Right? I mean, look at OpenAI.
Wow, absolutely.
Itna chota team,
correct,
disrupting Google.
Seriously,
right? Think of 4 people,
10 million users within 2 months.
Crazy, right? So think about that, right? I mean, obviously it took them some time, right? But you can be lean, right? In terms of team, of course they raise a lot of money, etc. It's different, but the point really is you can do a lot because of the platforms that these guys create. See, because in 2010, 2012, it was like cloud made it very easy to start.
Sahi baat.
Right? Now cloud and compute and apps are much easier, right? So you can actually build a lot more things with a lot less. There are so many programs that AWS has, all these other cloud providers have, right? the idea really is to not remain at idea stage.
True.
Right? I think a lot of people think, let's just work on the idea, but I need funds to do something. I think that's
actually a misconception.
That's a complete misconception. That's not going to work, right? And it is possible to do a lot more with a lot less. So I think I would say ki massive opportunity, but just push to do more in terms of actual numbers, actual outcomes with a lot less.
But the last one, okay?
Yeah.
The last one is, so what else does Soham do beyond building the business? I know startup is a lot more invigorating.
Absolutely.
24/7 life.
Yeah.
But और भी कुछ passions होंगे. कैसे free time कैसे?
I think as founders, we have responsibilities everywhere, right? So I think more than that, right? I think it's very important to give time to family.
Yes.
Right? To give time to parents.
Correct.
See, a lot of times what happens, we take family for granted, right? Like, but the thing is that you have one life, right? You need to do all those kinds. So I think giving time to family is very important. I got married just before the pandemic, so obviously spending time with my wife. She's also super supportive, so I think that helps.
That's good.
I work out every morning.
Wow,
gym,
that's good.
especially like if I'm not traveling.
Yeah.
And tennis sometimes.
Nice.
So and then both my wife and myself are foodies. So
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
do a lot of things, but that's about the free time. But honestly, I think work, like even for you, I'm sure, right? It's a passion.
Yeah.
And you really enjoy it, right?
Don't even think about work,
Absolutely.
right?
It's
just organic. It's great. Maza aata hai usme.
Absolutely. I think just giving a lot of time to family, I think that's important.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Awesome, Soham. Great chat. We learned a lot. I myself learned a lot. I'm sure the listeners would love a lot more. And great journey. And I'm sure that you are gonna change the way. I opened your website and it said that logistics gonna change for the world, and that's what you're doing.
Absolutely. I think even for Zip and you guys, I think this is a fantastic job that you're doing. There's a massive opportunity ahead for all of us, and for all the founders out there as well. Huge opportunity, right?
Huge.
Time is now. I think just
scale in the right direction, focus.
Absolutely,
as you said. Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Great, Soham. Thank you so much for doing this for us. We had an amazing time.